Oh, from the moment I met you, I knew that this was going to be something special, to make me genuinely happy, but you've managed to crack me. I know I don't tell you enough, but you are an amazing husband, son, brother, and friend.
I am happy for Tasha and Paul. It's about time they had something positive about them because we've barely seen them throughout the experiment. So the idea that they had the opportunity to go on this amazing date and they had the opportunity to sort of just enjoy themselves and be happy and be at peace was amazing. And I'm happy that Tasha is recognizing that she has an amazing husband. I hope, if nothing else, she doesn't ruin it with her temper. I think she needs to do some work on herself. So hopefully someone will help her do that. But anyway, I digress. Hey there, it's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're at 8:45. Yay! Thanks to everyone that subscribed. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 8, Episode 31. It's final dates. How do I feel? I don't know. On the US version, we don't have final dates, do we? I don't remember. No, I don't think so. But anyway, this is something new. So all the couples that are still in the experiment choose a date for them and their spouse. And it's cute to see what everybody sort of come up with. You have Adrien and Matt. They go to what looks like a tree house. And they really seem to be in a very good place. They're happy to be there. They recognize that they haven't had as much time as everybody else in the experiment, and they're worried, as Adrien has said. And I think it's being realistic to be worried. To be worried, yes, is important, because for you to just go and say, oh, we'll be fine, that's having unrealistic expectations. So the idea that they would want to sort of have addressed most of their concerns before they went into the real world and had other things sort of influencing them, be it the distance, be it family, friends, having opinions about their relationships. I understand that bit. So I personally think they have all the ingredients that it takes to have a successful relationship. Adrien is out there and she's married to a husband who's just mellow and just calm and just really likes her. She's got a mother-in-law who really likes her and is happy for her son to move away, even though he's been running his dad's business since his dad's stroke. That says a lot. If I were her, I would seriously consider this marriage and really put in the work to make it work. And then you have Jordan and Erica. Jordan and Erica, for me, at first, I'm going to be honest, I was very skeptical of Erica. I don't want to lie. And then the incident with Tasha put me off. But the way she's handled her relationship with her husband is something that's actually been amazing. Yes, they've had opinions. They've interfered in other people's marriages. They've fought with other people. They've been sort of sarcastic and stuff. But when it comes to the base of them as a team, yes, Jordan has this OCD and it can be a challenge for Erica to sort of understand it. But I give her credit for saying to him, you need work. You need someone who's going to help you come up with tools and skills of how to manage your OCD, because when he goes down a rabbit hole, he's stuck down there and he doesn't come up for air. And so going home, meeting his mum and hearing from his mum was good for Erica and good for Jordan as well, because he arranges a date at a theme park, which was amazing. He had these little ducks. He wrote nice things that he liked about his wife, which really impressed Erica. And I was surprised that she was impressed by that. I would have expected her to pull a Peggy and say, I want to go to the 5-star restaurant. But she seemed at peace and she seemed ecstatic to be there, which really shocked me. So I like to give credit where credit is due, and I think she's doing her best, and I really hope when she goes back into society, her friends don't influence her to sort of leave Jordan, because I think they're an amazing team. I think if Jordan can see someone who can help him, a counselor or someone or a psychiatrist who can help him manage his OCD, they will be amazing. They will be amazing, because he's shown that he's willing to change by the fact that he's actually planned a date after his mother told him that you need to be romantic. And so writing those little notes has really impressed Erica. And so I think it's an amazing opportunity for them, and I hope they ignore the noise and sort of focus on the two of them and they stop poking their noses into other people's business. I'm confused when it comes to Matt and Adrien. Did they not speak about children? Did they not speak about whether they wanted children or not? It doesn't make sense to me. Why is it now being discussed and why is it now an issue? One would have expected them to have talked about it soon after they got married. Even on their honeymoon, they should have had this conversation. Do you want children? I don't want children. Because now it's such a big thing because you have Thomas and Rose, separating because Rose couldn't see herself having children with Thomas. And I don't know why the producers have felt the need to show this. I have a feeling Adrien is going to say she's changed her mind because she said that Matt would make an amazing dad. So I have a feeling that she's going to change her mind and she's going to say yes, she wants children with Matt, which I think is best, seeing as they both, have shown that they have the capacity to love and care for someone. So that would be great. You have Peggy. Oh my God, Peggy, I had already skipped over and forgotten about her. Well, George did an amazing thing. He was romantic. He got her the wedding dress. He arranged a carriage ride for her. And for her to continue to bring up the issue, oh, I went against my family. I don't know whether it was a good idea. Yes, we know, Peggy. You've told this 100 times. Can we move on to something? If you do not want this man, as we all know, just let him know you don't want him. Please don't torture him and make him go through all this, knowing that you really don't care about him and you're really not interested in continuing a marriage with him. Don't waste his time and don't waste our time telling us the same old thing. It's not, our ears are getting tired. Anyway, you then have Laura and Arthur. I said this before, I'm going to say this again. Arthur brings out the more relaxed and the more carefree side of Laura because he takes her to a pottery class and you can see how ecstatic she is, how excited. You can see the little kid in her coming out with the way she's playing with the clay. She's happy for him to sort of throw the clay on her. And she doesn't throw a fit. One would have expected her to sort of throw a tantrum and say, how dare you? Look at how smart I am. But she actually loved it and she was laughing freely, not like she's playing it up, but she looked very relaxed. So I really loved that for her. And I don't know. I have hope for them. I think I'm starting to change my mind about them. I think I'm still nervous at the fact that if they get to, Chelsea, will Arthur be able to adapt? That's my concern. And then you have Jordan and Erica. It's very, as I said, Jordan needs to see someone because now he's already panicking about, them going home and him not being close to Erica. He's already talking about moving to Edinburgh to be with her short term while they come up with a plan. And it's like, it's a bit too intense. He needs to go home. He needs to be with his mum. He needs to see someone, get some help. And then in between that time, he and Erica can come up with a plan of what they want to do in regards to their marriage. Do they want to move to Edinburgh? Do they want to go to where he's from? Do they want to move halfway in between the two? What do they want to do? Because now Erica is saying he's becoming clingy and it's off-putting and it's like, oh God, here we go again. Let things not spiral. JJ and Ella are starting to give me Peggy and George vibes because it's the same old argument. Every single time is the same old argument. It's the conversation about the way she behaves and her wanting to be reaffirmed. And it's like, I get the expert said, JJ needs to reaffirm Ella because she's got insecurities. And it's like, but JJ is not the one who's going to heal Ella's insecurities. Ella has to be willing to do the work to heal her own insecurities. Unless JJ is criticizing her and is making comments that make her feel insecure, Ella has to do her own work. I don't get why JJ has to be saddled with, every morning you need to reaffirm her. That's not realistic. Let us set realistic expectations. Let us set realistic goals. That's not a realistic expectation. To expect someone to do that every single day, because what happens when he's not able to do that? Does that mean she's going to go out, start drinking and start, cursing him out? That doesn't make sense. Ella needs to do the work in order to heal herself. That way she doesn't get to a point whereby she curses her partner out. That's my opinion. I'm sorry. I have high hopes for Paul and Tasha. Please don't let me down. Look at what's happened with Jay, and look at what's happened to Rose and Ella. You're my only hope. You're my only hope. Anyway, so they go on their date, and it's a cinema. So they get to sit down and watch a movie. And Paul is like, "What are we watching? What are we watching? I don't know what we're watching," because he had no idea. So the idea that Tasha stood there and read a letter to him, expressing her feelings about him, was amazing. And it was sweet because they had sort of flashbacks to their wedding, their honeymoon, the progress, dinner parties, commitment ceremonies. It was amazing. It was a summation of their relationship, and I could not be more proud of them, given the fact that they were the youngest couple in the experiment, but they focused on themselves. And yes, at times there was drama from other parties, but still, they are human. They are going to react in a situation where they feel some type of way. So had they been perfect throughout, I would have had a question that, are they acting up? Are they pretending? So the fact that they've had speed bumps, and the fact that we've actually seen them sort of crack, and because they had a firm foundation, repair their cracks or work on repairing the cracks, their communication style is amazing. When it comes to Paul, Tasha is learning from Paul, which is amazing. And she is willing to learn, and she's willing to recognize. She's got enough self-awareness at her age to realize that what I'm doing is wrong. When Paul tells her, "I don't like this," she doesn't go into defense mode, or she doesn't go into, "But you did this." Instead, it's constructive feedback. How can I grow? How can I better myself for you or for our relationship to work? And so I could not be more proud. They remind me of the young couple from Married at First Sight Australia last season. I'm so proud of Tasha and Paul, and I really wish them all the best, and I hope they succeed, because this is what Tasha needed to come into a marriage with a man who's loving, compassionate, caring, who has a supportive family that's loving, compassionate, and caring. This will make her the best version of herself if she does not self-sabotage like Rose, and everything falls apart. But if she can focus on what it is to be in a relationship with Paul, if she can focus on how well they function as a team, they will be unstoppable. In my opinion, they will be unstoppable. Okay, message to the group. Who in this group has heard Peggy sort of call out her areas of weakness, or has heard her speak of anything that she feels like she needs to change to be a best version of herself for her husband? Who has heard George criticize her for anything in regards her as a person, or her career aspirations, her family, her goals, anything? Please raise your hand. George has had such an arc. In my opinion, he's gone from villain to hero, in the sense that the fact that he's been able to survive 8 weeks with Peggy, he deserves a medal. He deserves a medal for that. The fact that he's been able to survive 8 weeks of being criticized and being told what he's not good at, and being told about everybody else's opinions about him, of being knocked down every single waking day, and still he continues to rise and say, "I love you, I care for you, I see a 5-year plan with us." How? Are we missing something? What is happening between the two of them that the producers are not showing us? Because it doesn't make sense that you'd make a 5-year plan with someone who keeps knocking him down. It doesn't make sense that you'd make a 5-year plan with someone whose family have told them that they don't see him as a son-in-law. So make it make sense. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense for me. It doesn't make sense for me. What does he see in Peggy that he would want to sort of develop a relationship with her? And the fact that she's still on the last date is criticizing him. "My family doesn't love you, but I'm going against my family." What has she done? What has she done to convince her family that this is the guy for her? That's the question that needs to be asked. What has Peggy said to her family that have tainted their view of George? Or what has Peggy done to, or said to her family to sort of change their opinions about her husband? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I don't get it. I think they're just there to be on the show and that's it. And hopefully George will, now that he's managed to get a positive arc, you will be in a better place. Surprisingly, other people are not getting better arcs, but hey, it is what it is. So Laura and Arthur for me, I don't know what to think. I think Laura needs to decide, does she want friends or does she want a marriage? Because Arthur seems to bring her down from her sort of high horse and sort of bring her into the real world where she's just free and just herself without sort of restrictions. And with her friends, it's sort of like it's a keeping up appearance sort of situation whereby she has this status she has to maintain. She has to behave in a certain way to be accepted by everyone around her. And so I think for her, it's now a matter of, do you want to get married or do you want your friends? Because Arthur, in my opinion, is the best person for her because he balances her out. She's not always, oh, I want a Chelsea boy, I want to go to nice places. She is comfortable in going to a clay pottery class. She is comfortable to go to a high tea event. So this is what Arthur brings to her, and she has to ask herself, because for her to say, if my friends don't like you, then it might not work. Are you more worried about your friends or are you worried about your husband? Which is it? Do you want a friend or do you want a husband who will be your friend? Make it make sense? I don't get it, and I don't get why she continues to want to impress those girls, because why didn't they match her up with someone they like then if they don't like Arthur? They've been her friends for all this time. They know she's been divorced and she's been single. Why haven't they found her a partner then? Well, since they know what she like and since they know what they like. Make it make sense? I think she needs to put herself first. I think she needs to assess not only her relationship to Arthur, but also her relationship to her friends and see whether they're all sort of the things that she wants in her life or whether they're not, and sort of see whether she can, what has she learned from this experience? What can she do to better herself? Does she feel like Arthur is going to be that person, or does she feel like she would rather stay with her friends and continue to look for Chelsea boys? I feel like Arthur is actually well-to-do than we're actually being told. I think Arthur's got his own place, but the show has decided to make him this scrounger who's looking for somewhere to stay and doesn't have anywhere to stay apart from, wherever his wife is going to put her head. That's the impression that I get. I remember on Love Island USA, there was Steve. He had money, and I called it that Steve had money before everybody else discovered he had money, because I just had a sense, and they were making him seem like a bum who didn't want to work and was doing nothing. And I somehow have the feeling that this is the same thing they're doing to Arthur. They're making it seem like Arthur is, not illiterate, but borderline illiterate. He's just this person who Laura is having to sort of help adapt and adjust to this way of life that he's not familiar with. I don't think he's like that. I think, yes, he grew up around hardship, but I think he's made something of himself. Given his parents, their home, when we saw them, there's no way he would be living off, people's couches when his family is there. So make it make sense. And the fact that we only heard once when he said, oh, when I finish the experiment, I'm going to go and live with my parents. I think there's more to Arthur than we're being told, and I can't wait for the show to end so that we find out the truth. But anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 30. Bye guys.